Today on the Gold Standard.
Maybe the inflation that's going on right now, or the decaying in their account values. Maybe they're a little nervous that maybe they're not going to have enough, or maybe they're nervous that the majority of the account will just lose most of its value, which is very understandable in this market because our paper assets like the dollar and all these other fiat currencies are going to lose so much value.
This is the Gold Standard from Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. Hello, I'm Dave Deno. Welcome to the Gold Standard, your source for secure investment opinion and information on the advantages of purchasing and owning precious metals. Whether you're a novice investor or an experienced collector, this is the program that gives you a realistic weekly perspective on the state of the economy, reliable information about using precious metals such as gold, silver, and platinum to safeguard your wealth, and remarkable details about specific precious metal coins and bullion. Ken Russo is a senior vice president at Midas Gold Group. His peers characterize him as a straight shooter who will work harder for you than anyone else. Ken, it is a pleasure to join you again this week.
Nice to talk to you today, Dave, as always.
Our topic is retirement alert, and this is a very serious topic because of the continued rise of inflation and the specter of recession. And this is not just an exercise of calculating the economic figures. Rather, it is a real-world warning about how your retirement funds, which are invested in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or other investment vehicles, how those funds are being depleted by our misguided economy. And that means less money for your retirement years. And let me repeat that. Less money for your retirement years. Ken, there is more bad news, I'm sad to say, on the economy. Can you give us a picture of that?
Well, I mean, everything that we've been warning over the past year, Dave, is kind of just happening right before our eyes. I mean, the audience has to realize that the past decade has been fake. There's been so much money that's been printed out of thin air. There's so much leverage, so much speculation. It's built the biggest bubble in the history of bubbles. And eventually, what the Fed inflated, they're going to deflate, and that bubble will pop, and we will see a lot of wealth destruction over the next few years. So how do we protect it? I mean, that's what we're talking about, right, Dave, with physical gold. And the consumer price index, it hit 9.1%. And that's after previous months of 8.3% and 8.6%. So you can see, Dave, that the trend is continuing to show a rise in inflation and a decline in the worth of our money that we have saved and invested. You know, that's very important. A decline in the purchasing power of our paper money that we've saved and invested. Paper money, fiat money. Add to that, Dave, the fact that Wall Street has reacted negatively to stocks by, they're losing a lot of value, and that could continue. We'll see little bounces here or there, but we haven't seen the lows yet. That's going to take some time. The Dow Jones has dropped more than 20% year to date. NASDAQ way more than that. And let me put that into real dollars. Your retirement investments, Dave, are worth an average of 20% or more or less than they were just, 8 months ago, 6 months ago. That's a huge drop in the amount of money that you will have left for retirement.
Can you add to the depressing consumer inflation rate, the consumer one, of 9.1%? You add to that the wholesale price index, which just came out at 11.3%. And boy, I'll tell you, the future does not look good.
No, and let's see over the last year and a half what our leaders in the White House have said about inflation. It's transitory. It'll go back down. It's decelerating. It's because of big meat. Yeah, that's right, Dave. It's because of big meat. It's only a high-class problem. Remember that? About 6 months ago, inflation is at a peak. It's Putin's fault. It's COVID's fault. It's out of date. How many times could we put our future and our nest egg in individuals and groups and entities that are making decisions that are going to affect our bottom line? That's unacceptable to me, and it's unacceptable to the people of Midas Gold Group. Most of the people, Dave, who feel that way know they have to diversify out of paper to protect their purchasing power from what's going on. This is just not going to go away, Dave. All of a sudden, we're not going to wake up next week or tomorrow and prices are going to be back where they were a decade ago. Never going to happen. So how do you protect what you have saved, what you've invested in over the last few years? How do you protect your IRA, your old 401k, your savings account by being totally wiped out by this inflation, higher costs? How do you hold your purchasing power? And folks, that's where diversification, taking some of those paper assets and moving it into physical gold while gold is still low in price, that's where gold comes in. It's a tangible asset. That's what we're talking about. That's what's imperative for people to understand and to do right now, Dave.
A reminder here, you're listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and today our topic is retirement alert. And enough of the problems and numbers. I'll tell you what, it's just very depressing. Let's get to the solution. And we're talking about precious metals, and especially gold. They offer, according to you and according to what I've learned from you, a proven alternative to the volatile risks of Wall Street investments, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, how many times have we said, Dave, you can't put 100% of your, nest egg or savings in speculative assets. That's great. But if you go to the casino and you push your chips into the middle of the table on every hand, you may win a few hands, but eventually you're going to go bust.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're talking about a market the way that we're in today, where there's so much speculation, how much money could we make today? How much money could we make this week? What could we trade? There has to be some assets that are in your possession, that are in your portfolio, that are rock solid. Some investments that are tangible, that you could hold on to, that you own outright, that there's no third-party risk, there's no leverage, something that will be there when you need it, something that will always have value. And based on the track record of gold, during any financial crisis, political uncertainty, financial upheaval, a stock market crash, gold has been able to hold its value and show positive returns over the last 20 years of at least 10% a year on average. Gold has been able to protect nest eggs. That's why it's so important, Dave, to think about it at this time, especially knowing where we've come from and where we are right now.
And listeners can call Midas Gold Group to get guidance on the most profitable way to own gold, physical gold, right?
Well, that's right, Dave. And everybody's a little different. And we've talked about many times, we're very fair, we're very reasonable, we're very reliable, but it requires a little bit of time, a conversation. Some people like to do it face to face. Other people like to do it over the phone, but it needs to start today. So I would tell investors right now, if you have some gold or some silver, consider adding to it, as prices have not yet reflected everything that's going to go on over the next 5 or 10 years, not even close. And I would tell new investors out there not to be afraid, have more risk just staying all in paper where you are right now versus taking a little of it and moving it into gold and a little bit of silver possibly. But everyone's a little different. That's what we do every single day. That's what we specialize in. So we would encourage people to start those conversations, have a little trust in Midas Gold Group and our ability to navigate this next financial crisis through the ownership of physical precious metals that you could hold on to. And that may include gold. It may include a little silver. It may include platinum in your IRA or in your own possession.
And we're going to continue our retirement alert a little bit later in the program, and we'll highlight the best ways to convert your cash or your investments into the security of gold, physical gold. And there are ways that will bypass some taxes also when you transfer money from one account to another. But first, a reminder that you're listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group. And in a moment, we're going to look at a specific precious metal that you can use to safeguard your wealth. And that's coming up right after this.
The Fed lied when they initially said inflation was transitory. They knew it wasn't, but didn't want to panic the markets and you, the people. This is why they tried to keep secret the $125 trillion in loans they gave banks around the world. We've seen inflation ramping up, and Midas Gold Group thinks the Fed is way behind the curve with interest rates. It's time to call Midas Gold Group, 805-601-6000. You can add financial privacy and protection from inflation and profit potential potential to your investments through physical gold and silver. They provide you with the quality service and critical information you need without the pushy salesman. Get your portfolio reset with gold and silver. Call Midas Gold Group for their guide to owning bullion and coins today. 855-322-GOLD. That's 855-322-4653 or MidasGoldGroup.com.
And we're back with more of the Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Deno, and our topic today is retirement alert. By the way, if you live in the Los Angeles or the Phoenix area, we encourage you to come and visit our local office to meet with us in person. We would love that. For the address and directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com, M-I-D-A-S, MidasGoldGroup.com. And I might add, you will love coming and meeting us in person as well. Now, for those of you listening in other cities, call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4653. Ken, we now turn to look at a specific gold product, and today what is called the PAMP, P-A-M-P, Swiss Gold Bar. Now, I read that this is a particularly affordable way to bulk up on gold bullion. Why is that?
Well, remember, Dave, that gold bullion could be a coin that's minted by the government mint, like the eagle or the maple leaf. It could be a bar which is minted by a private entity, like PAMP Swiss that we're going to talk about today, like Credit Suisse, like Sunshine Mint, which do a lot of silver bars as well. But today we're going to talk about PAMP Swiss bar. And when we talk about a bullion bar, we typically talk about a very affordable way to own gold. Mm-hmm. And when I say that, coins could be a little bit more because they will appreciate more during a good market because there's a lot of craftsmanship. It has the respect and the reputation of the government mint behind it. But a bar is just solely based on the weight and the purity of the bar, and it's not really fancy. Mm-hmm. So it's probably the most effective way, Dave, to own as much gold as you can for your dollar. And the PAMP Gold Bar is one of the highest quality gold bars that's out there. They're usually in 1 ounce form, Dave. That's the most common. But they also come in different sizes, like a 20 gram, a 10 gram, and a 5 gram size bar, which are very popular these days as people are looking for smaller denominations that are less than an ounce so that they're easily convertible, Dave, back to cash, or back to whatever money is 5 or 10 years from now without having to cash in a full ounce of gold. For some people, $2,000 or close to $2,000 could represent a big portion of their gold investment. You wouldn't want to put it all into one product. You want to spread it out a little bit. And the PAMP Gold Bar that comes in different sizes, especially the 1 ounce bar, is probably one of our clients' favorites when it comes to gold ownership in bar form.
We have featured a lot of beautiful gold coins in the past, but the gold PAMP bar, it really does have a beauty all of its own, right?
Yeah, very unique, Dave. Different, nice color. The bar is 0.9999 fine gold. The obverse of the bar features Fortuna. One of the most popular PAMP bars is PAMP Fortuna, and she is the fetching Roman goddess, appropriately associated with good luck and great fortune. The reverse side bears the elegant PAMP logo, Dave, as well as the weight, purity, and the serial number and hallmark stamp. That's right. Unlike gold coins, these bars each have their own serial number, and you could look up those numbers on the PAMP system, and it basically comes up on their site automatically to see if it's authenticated and a genuine product. And one more feature, Dave, PAMP Swiss maintains a global reputation across key precious metal markets. Very high technology involved in these bars. Very innovative company. PAMP was the first operation to utilize a decorative emblem to mark their bullion bars, and it's a move that's gained further confidence of the international market. So, PAMP is a trend setter. Like I said, it's a very high quality gold bar, and people can be very proud and feel safe in that product.
So as you said, the gold PAMP bar in 1 ounce, 20 gram, 10 gram, even 5 grams is a very affordable way to bulk up on gold bullion, but with all the assurances of the most cutting-edge anti-counterfeit protections. I really think it should be right at the top of everyone's list.
Good way to put it, Dave, and it does qualify for IRAs. We have a bunch of gold IRAs that are, packed up with PAMP gold in different sizes. These are available for direct delivery and, cash reserve basis purchases. Excellent product in every way. Don't have anything, negative to say about, gold PAMP ownership or gold bar ownership. I think it's a great way, price-wise, to own gold, feel good about it, and have a high quality product. And that's easy to sell too in the future, which is also important.
Thank you, Ken. Coming up in a moment, we're going to continue talking about Retirement Alert with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and that's coming up right after this.
Sebastian Gorka here. The Biden-Harris administration is governing through an unprecedented number of executive orders. We have a good idea of what their agenda means for the country and for your finances. More debt, more regulations, slower growth, and higher taxes. There's even talk of a digital wallet currency and a so-called Great Reset. With massive new spending programs, the Fed is printing money even faster than before. This will likely cause the dollar to fall and gold prices to rise. That's why it's never been more important to own physical gold and silver. And the dealer I trust to do business with is veteran-owned Midas Gold Group. The experts at Midas Gold can even help you convert a portion of your IRA into physical gold and silver to stabilize your portfolio against the coming storm. Call Midas Gold Group for their guide to owning bullion and coins today. 855-322-GOLD. That's 855-322-4653 or MidasGoldGroup.com.
And we are back with more of the Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Deno, and today our topic is Retirement Alert. By the way, if you live in the Los Angeles or the Phoenix area, you have a great advantage. You can actually come and visit our local office to meet with us in person. For the address and directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com. MIDAS, MidasGoldGroup.com. For those of you listening elsewhere in other cities, just call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4653. Now, let's return to our topic today, Retirement Alert, and let's talk about ways to actually buy and possess the security of physical gold. First, I can actually buy gold directly from Midas Gold Group, right?
Well, absolutely, Dave. And why? Because the dollar could crash. The financial system is under severe stress with all this debt, which will never be paid off. It'll be the system's demise. You can't risk all of your money on risky assets, especially paper assets. There's so much stuff out there that people don't understand. So yes, at Midas Gold Group, we buy and sell gold and all the precious metals every single day. It's what we do. It's what we specialize. And I think it's never been more important than in today's market, Dave.
Ken, what if you have most of your wealth assets, let's say in an IRA, a 401k, or some other type of paper investment that obviously right now we're seeing decline in value? Aside from buying and having your gold in your possession physically, you can actually transfer a portion of those paper investments over into a gold IRA, and you can do so tax-free, right?
Yes, that's right. And why would someone want to do that? I mean, maybe their inflation, maybe the inflation that's going on right now, or the decaying in their account values, maybe they're a little nervous that maybe they're not going to have enough, or maybe they're nervous that the majority of the account will just lose most of its value, which is very understandable in this market. But I want to stress here, Dave, we're not talking about paper gold. We're talking about physical gold in an IRA that's held securely for you at a depository until you decide to take it out through a distribution. You have to understand that an IRA you haven't paid any taxes on yet. The government wants to start collecting taxes on you at 72 years old. They want to start collecting taxes on people from their retirement accounts before they die. And instead of taking money out of your IRA, you can take your gold, you can take your silver, and take delivery of it if you choose to. But it's physical gold that you either hold on to personally through a cash reserve transaction, or hold on to it at a depository until you decide to take it out. And that gold and silver in your IRA, the funds came from your transfer from your old 401k or from your existing IRA, and that transfer was tax-free.
I got to tell you, that is what you have done for me. You have made this very easy for me to do.
Well, yes, and you did a portion of what you've worked hard for, Dave, and a portion of what you've, tried to do the right thing for the last 20 or 30 years and tried to take a little bit of it and say, "Hey, I just want to put this aside and I want it to be in gold and a little bit of silver and a little bit of platinum, and worst case scenario, if everything else goes bad, that based on its track record should at least hold its value, although I would argue that I think in the next 5 or 10 years it also offers a tremendous opportunity to gain a lot of value as well, because our paper assets like the dollar and all these other fiat currencies are going to lose so much value. And the account, Dave, works just like any IRA. You have your gold available for withdrawal, just like you would have your cash available for withdrawal from a traditional IRA or an old 401k account. It has all the tax protections of the IRA that they offer. All the rules of the IRA don't change because you now have a gold IRA backed by gold and silver and platinum. The main difference, though, and this is what I want people to understand, instead of being solely dependent on the stock market and on the paper market and possibly money market funds or CDs, it's all paper, or especially annuities with high fees, and nobody understands what's going on there, and everybody's just told that they're guaranteed and you'll never lose any of your balance. How outrageous. If the dollar crashes, you're not going to lose any of your principal or your balance. I mean, so ridiculous. But the gold IRA is physical precious metals, not paper, that you could at any time take delivery of. So inside of your retirement account, if you want the assurity of a physical, tangible asset, the gold IRA is the way to go. And obviously, give Midas Gold Group a call and we could, talk about some of your options.
I like to think of it this way. You convert a portion of your wealth into the protection and the stability of gold while the rest of the market slips away. And I know that people can call you and they can talk with you about moving some of their assets into gold in one of these two ways. A reminder here that you're listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and today our topic is Retirement Alert. Now, to sum up our time together today, and as we have said in another program, you don't have to lose control of your money. You don't have to see your retirement funds dwindle in purchasing power. You don't have to see your cash turn into, toilet paper, as the entities that be really continue to make wrong decision after wrong decision. And you still have time to turn some of your paper assets into something that you control, something that is private, and based on its track record, will hold its purchasing power, right?
If someone's thinking about their family or their situation or the nest egg, Dave, I don't see anybody why they wouldn't want to take a portion of their assets, paper assets, and convert it into physical gold. I don't see a reason why someone would not want to do that.
Ken, I got to tell you, I trust my savings and my investments to Midas Gold Group because of the information and the guidance that I get from you about owning gold. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, you're a good client, Dave, and I'm glad you listen. But more importantly, I'm glad that you understand reality and that you're being sensible.
And that is going to bring us to the end of our time together today here on The Gold Standard with Ken Russo, brought to you by Midas Gold Group. And a reminder, opinions given here are not intended to be specific to your investment strategy, but rather general information to give you a better understanding of investing in precious metals. For answers to your questions, call Midas Gold Group at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4653. And the website is MidasGoldGroup.com. MIDAS, MidasGoldGroup.com. The Midas Gold Group is proud to be America's #1 veteran-owned gold dealer, supporting veterans' causes with a portion of profits donated to the Wounded Warriors Project and the Semper Fi Fund. So your investment in your future is also an investment in the future of those who have bravely served the cause of freedom. Again, the number to call to speak directly with Midas Gold Group is 855-322-GOLD. One more time, 855-322-GOLD. Ken, thank you so much for your time again today.
Yes, Dave, as always, it's good to talk to you.
I'm Dave Deno, and I hope you'll come and join us again next week at this same time for another edition of The Gold Standard.
The Gold Standard was brought to you by the Midas Gold Group.